people, I did not fall asleep, Jeff, but we almost did. Jeremy and I, we were basically what we're going to do is treat this as kind of a dry run for a podcast that we're going to be starting. And if you don't know, this is Jeremy with HTO Holsters, who's co-hosting with me. And I forgot to put that on the thumbnail. I was going to update it today, but I had a little bit of water in the basement, so I had to take care of that and got wrapped up in dealing with water. So anyway, what we're going to do is treat today as a dry run for a podcast that we're going to announce today that we'll be starting. And if you want to explain that to these folks, Jeremy,
podcast that we're going to announce.
You can go right ahead, and I'm going to pull up the graphic and show them basically kind of what we're going to be working with here pretty soon. Did you want to tell them about the podcast?
Well, lasers and stuff, I guess. We do lasers, we do firearms. I make holsters. Been getting into a lot more stuff than just the holster thing with these lasers, thanks to Patrick and everybody over at Laser Makers Realm. So yeah, we're just going to be talking about lasers.
Your volume's a little low now. If you can pump that up just a little bit.
Okay, I don't know how to do that.
Should be able to do it in OBS and adjust your mic gain. But as soon as I export this image out and show it to you, then I'm going to say hi to everybody in the comments. Let me do this real quick. Like I said, I'm a little bit behind on where I wanted to be.
Okay, how's that? Is that better?
I think.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. If the audience can, we'll be in good shape. Well,
right.
Jim is here. Jack had to go. So sorry you can't be here, Jack. Jeff is here. Deanna, I'm glad you got something to eat. Hi, Lori. And hey, Steve, what's going on? Okay, we're going to pull this up now. And I did the wrong one.
Well, no. I had a rough go of it too because we were getting ready to go, and then I lost all my cameras, and it took me about an hour to get them back.
I don't know what this is. Oh, let me come out. There it is. Okay, here we go. Make this full screen. I'm going to show you guys. All I need to do is get the title of the podcast on there, and we've got our basically our thumbnail graphic. And there it is. So that's what it's going to be. And the title of the podcast is The Frequency. So if you get that, it ties into lasers, radio and podcasting. So I think Jeremy came up with that name. It was a really cool name. I liked it. And that's what we're going to go with. And then I did the like the mixer microphone thing with, I did that in Adobe Illustrator actually with the voice.
Firefly, wasn't it?
Yeah, Firefly with text to graphic.
Yep. Yeah, it looks good.
So what I was going to do today is just kind of demonstrate what I go through in engraving and axe. If that's what you want to see, or whoever's watching, if you want to see something different, just let me know. I just wanted to do a kind of a live demo, hang out, answer questions. Nothing too official. Let Jeremy test his system out and just do kind of a dry run. Hey, thanks, Jeff and Hobo. I thought that was a pretty cool looking graphic too.
Yeah.
Now I have the lasers and then our logos and stuff. And now I'm going to add the pre. Is that running on your?
Just running the clean pass right now. This is a piece of stainless I had laying around. I don't know, might do some color grids. Play around, see if I can get something different that I've been working on.
Oh, I'm sure people would love to see you get some color on there. What I have is an axe, and I'm going to show you how I line it up on the bed and get it centered. I'm going to run a cleaning pass and then do a deep engrave using the 120 watt today. That's going to be my example. Then I've got 3 printers running. Had a few orders. And again, thank you, Steve, for your awesome promo for my riser legs. I had 2 orders of those in the last 2 days. So that's awesome. I like keeping those printers busy. But the axe that I have today to use is called the Flying Fox. It's made by Co2. Did another axe, and I thought I had it over here. Apparently I don't. Be right back. So this is the Council Tool Flying Fox. This is a version that I did back over the summer. It says the fox is the wolf who brings flowers. So there's a cute little fox there and different colors with the laser on that side. Then here's a little, it's actually a farm scene. It's kind of hard to see. There are some houses and farms, and the foxes, since it's a Flying Fox axe, the fox is flying over the water. So stay wild and throw better. So throw better is something you hear in the axe throwing community quite a bit. And I thought that was cool. So I came up with the design and engraved this thing. I think I'm going to sell it. But it has a nice different palette of colors on it for sure. Let me close that. Okay. Hi, John. Thanks for leaving a comment. Hey, if you're just hanging out, leave a comment and say hi. Hit the like button. Appreciate it. Thanks for being here. It's kind of just a hangout, Q&A. Let us know what you're working on.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you're friends with me on Facebook, message me any pictures and stuff of stuff you're working on. You might want other folks to see, and I'll pop them up on screen. Or if you're not friends with me on Facebook, sales@lightsource.pro is my email address. I'll check my emails, and if there's anything you want me to show on screen, I'll put your picture up, and I'll take credit for it. So sounds good to me. All right, I'm going to bring you over to the laser camera now. So here's our Flying Fox. And people will ask, how do you level up your axe? Well, what I do is I basically take the end of the axe here and draw an imaginary line from here to the tip. So from the corner to the tip. And then I will use this imaginary line and level the axe based on that imaginary line. And the goal is to try to put the recess that's here in the blade with the recess where it's recessed down here, to get those to be approximately level. And then once you turn that up to get those level, and that puts the edge of the blade approximately level with this part of the blade or the axe head. And normally I just eyeball it. You can get a fancy level out and start playing around, but I've done it so often that I tend to just eyeball it. But I'm more concerned with is actually placing the level across the blade and making sure it's level that way. And normally you have to add a little height underneath the handle. Let me show you that. My arrows.
Yeah, and then don't walk by the handle when it's burning, because then you'll knock it off your laser.
I got another trick for that I'm going to show you. I'm full of tricks. Billy Rabbit.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
All right, that is enough height with that little spacer underneath the handle to make it level. And what I want to show you is how do I keep this axe from moving around or getting bumped. I use 2 thumb screws. And then I will use a jig bar across the handle like that. And then another thumb screw screwed in on that side. Screw those 2 down. The jig bar puts pressure on the handle, and that keeps it from moving. And a slight nudge will hold it in place. Now, if you just run your whole body into it, yeah, of course it's going to move. But that's just an extra layer of security to keep it from moving around.
I like that.
What colors are you hunting? What colors are you hunting for, Jeremy?
You know, I'm gonna have to move my camera because where it's sitting, the colors aren't actually showing up good, but from a different angle they are. So, I don't know. I had my red. I was searching for red, and I tweaked a few settings in there just to see what I could come up with. A little faster speed, and a couple other things, just to see what I can come up with. So, I don't know. It's going to be a surprise for all of us because I don't know what we're getting.
A slightly longer thumb screw. We'll get that now. And then I'll share another tip. If you really want to wrench down tight on your thumb screws, a piece of rubber stamp material or a piece of cork, a cork coaster, or something like that underneath of it to provide some cushioning will keep it from leaving marks in the wood. So then we're able to tighten that down and make sure it's not going to go anywhere. So just like this, then we can start cranking down on these screws and get it to the point where, yeah, I'm shaking this thing pretty hard, and the whole laser is moving. I don't know if you can get that on camera, but
yeah, I saw it.
I'm almost moving the whole laser's moving before the axe is moving. I'm going to loosen this up, so I'm going to have to adjust it after we frame it. But we're still level, even with cranking it down. So where I have these risers position will work. Now we need LightBurn. And I need to find that axe file. I hope to have this pulled up earlier and didn't get that done either.
Wow, thank you, Jeff. Appreciate that.
Oh my gosh. Thank you, Jeff. That's super awesome. I greatly appreciate that.
If you can't tell, Jim's pretty excited about his MK2 coming in.
Jim, I'm excited on your MK2 coming in. I cannot wait to see what you end up doing with that thing.
Yeah, no
Jerry,
kidding.
what's up? 3DHP, Jerry is here.
Hey, Jerry, what's going on?
Tomorrow, Jerry has a live stream. Subscribe to his channel and check it out. I think it starts at 3 p.m. Eastern. Not correct. He'll let me know.
Yeah, Jim, it's kind of dark where my camera's sitting, and I'll tip the steel up a little bit, let the light shine on it. But I'm getting red, blue, purple. I think there's a green in there. Not sure. We'll see what happens when it's over with. My goal is to fill up that entire square that I just cleaned off and put as many test grids and just goofing around with settings to see what I come up with as I can. That way I got that piece of steel, and it sits down here on the floor, leaning up against my bench for reference when I want to do something. I got probably 6 pieces of cold rolled steel and stainless sitting down here with colors on it.
Jeremy has done some pretty thorough investigating trying to get collars on steel with his fiber. Now, I'm sure he'll show. Yep, he's going to show a few of those.
I don't know where the rest of them are. One thing to keep in mind about those little 2-inch stainless ornaments, every batch that I've gotten in is required testing on a couple of them to get colors because the batch has changed. The finish is different. The process is different just a little bit somehow, and the colors end up just a little different. I don't understand it, but that's what happens.
I don't know if you guys remember whenever I sent a care package to the YouTube channel, Terrell Fixes All, and they did an unboxing video of everything that I made them. But on my CO2 laser, it's almost finished. I'm doing 2 signs for them. And the first sign, it's just cutting out the hanging holes. And it just beeped. So it should be, I'll have to bring that over and show it. But here I'm doing a Viking axe pattern. I'm using some Viking patterns that I had purchased from a guy who studied history and came up with all these patterns based on traditional Viking patterns. And this is from a certain era of Viking artwork. So I came up with this and traced the flying fox and then just cut that pattern out so that it would match the flying fox. And then I saved the outline of it and brought it in as a tool layer. That's what I'm going to frame on the laser right now. I'm going to hit frame. Let's go over to the laser cam. I don't know if you guys saw my video on my little. So this is far away from my laser, but I can frame and start the job and do stuff with my little keyboard that I programmed for LightBurn. So just by holding this keyboard, use my arrows, you'll see I'll be able to move this frame down where it needs to go. I have my nudge set to 0.1 millimeters, so I just hold it down. And if I need to make it larger or bigger, then I can just do larger. You can see it get bigger. See, it's larger or smaller. But very handy little tool to have. The downside is if you accidentally hit start and you're not ready, you'll be in trouble. The good thing is while it's framing, you cannot hit start. It won't work. You have to escape out of it first. Then if you hit start, it'll work. So I just try to make sure I leave that where I'm not going to bump it and everything gets framed. But that was a pretty darn good guess on where that axe head was supposed to be. I did not plan that. It's already fairly straight. I just need my focal stick to make sure I'm in focus. I haven't done that yet. All right, so everything's going to change. Where I want to focus, based on where I leveled, is this is where the main curve of the axe head occurs, where it starts to thin out. So what I want to do is focus halfway between here and here. So about right in there. With this 200 lens, it's going to give me hopefully the ideal focus. And we'll know if it's ideal when we run our cleaning passes, because we'll be able to see as the beam goes back and forth across the laser or across the axe head, it should all be the same brightness. If that brightness changes, then we know we need to adjust our focus a little bit. Any questions? This is a 200 lens.
I am running a 220 lens. And sometimes you strike out on the colors. That last one was just, it didn't work. Swung for center field and missed wide right.
All right, I'm going to go jump back into LightBurn. What I want to show you is I'm going to hit Control D for duplicate. I'm going to make a second copy of that framing template, and I'm going to turn that to a blue layer just because I like blue. But I'm going to use this to run a cleaning pass. I'm not going to do it. I could use this to run a cleaning pass to clean the whole laser head off. But the finish on these flying foxes is so nice, I'm not going to mess with it. But if I wanted to, this is what I would do. And since I don't need that, I'm just going to back out of that and get rid of that second layer. Now all I need to do is move this into position.
Well, right off the bat, we got a decent red.
let's make your screen bigger so we can see it.
Burgundy-ish.
I can see some burgundy in that.
Yep. This is a test grid for those shiny, polished stainless ornaments. I'm running it on this dull matte finish and see what happens. Itty bitty line spacing.
It is itty bitty. All right, I'm going to show you my settings for this too. I would search Amazon. Lowe's steel prices are outrageous. I'm going to run engraving at, let's see, this is not set up for my 120. So I'm going to run it at 6,000 speed. A clean pass at 7,000. Frequency 80. Let's see. Engrave 6,090. 80. Key pulse 500. Yep. Then I'm going to run a clean pass, then another engraving pass. That should be 6,000. And each of these is going to run 20 passes. And you'll see I have angle rotate, auto rotate set. So it's going to rotate at 37 degrees every time it makes a pass. And flood fill for getting a nice deep engrave. Then a clean pass. Then another fill pass. Let's see. This one runs a little less power, a little faster. Just to do a deep clean. And then I have another engraving pass. With a little higher frequency and tighter line space, and that will clean it up and give it a nice finish. Then we can decide if we want to do any colors or anything else. So those are my passes that I've set up for this one.
Yeah, Jerry, for stainless, some people have access to a scrapyard close by. You might have to drive for, half hour or so to get to one or better, but strike up a good relationship with your local scrapyard guy and show him pictures of what you're working on, and he just gives you stuff to play with. This particular chunk of stainless is 8 inches by, or it was 8 inches wide, like 34 inches long. He gave it to me for like $5 or $6 just to bring home and play with. So I cleaned it up, cut it into some pieces to fit on my laser, and that's what I'm using for stainless. Because I don't got no money for spending on new stuff.
All right, I got to tighten down these thumb screws. I forgot to tighten them back down.
John, I am using a 60-watt MOPA fiber laser.
All right, my thumb screws are tight. I'm ready to go. I'm going to use air assist, but what I want to show you first is what this engrave looks like without air assist, and then I'm going to show you with it, and then I'm just going to move the nozzle back and forth out of the way so you can see the difference. Let me just hit start, and we will be ready to go. All right. So this is no air. Now I'm going to turn the air on. So that's with air, and then here's without. With, without. With, without. without, and with. So that difference is obvious. I don't know why my camera is flickering again. I thought I had this solved, and apparently it's not. So frustrating. All right, so as I was watching through the camera there, I noticed it was definitely much brighter up on the high spot, so I lowered the laser head down just a little bit, and now it's got a more even brightness
Yeah,
across the black head.
I noticed that too. I was watching that burn. I saw the change.
Yeah, where it was, I was really noticing it was at the back of the axe head. That's where the lowest point is. Now it looks good. I think I'm going to do this on both sides and then put this axe up for sale. I am using a 120 watt JPT MOPA, and Jeremy's using a 60 watt JPT.
I wasn't sure which one you were using. I was assuming that was what the one that you were, but I didn't say anything because I didn't want to say it wrong. It looks like I'm done, almost done with my first row on this color one.
Hi, Redbeard. Nice to have you here. Let's see, I'm not sure if anybody's new jumping in the stream. I'm going to show you what this engrave looks like with air assist and without. Right now, I have my air assist running, blowing air across the axe head, and I'm going to now move this nozzle out of the way. So there's no air. Air, no air. Air, no air. Air, no air. So there's air and none.
I had the your air nozzle, your air thing running the other day on something. I can't remember what I was doing, but
not only does it engrave deeper, faster, it's much cleaner using using air. That's enough of a commercial for that, though. And I tell people, I don't care if you buy my air assist kit, if you use a couple fans, USB fans, just have some air blowing across it, and it's going to improve it. I started out using like one of the aquarium pumps with just the air line pointed at the axe head. And I forgot, I was going to try to post this over on Instagram. Let me do that real quick.
I will be back in a second. I'm going to step outside when
Okay,
this is running.
no problem. I think it's connecting. Yeah, it is. Cool. All right, that's up and running. I'll just let me mute it. Okay, while that's going, anybody have any questions?
I is back.
Oh, I have a viewer submitted project.
Uh-oh. What's that?
Are you guys getting any echo or hear any second copy of the voice coming through? Just want to double check and make sure. Ah, okay. Hopefully that takes care of it. All right, here is viewer submitted project from Jim McCall.
Oh, he's got it done. That's awesome.
Thank you for sharing this. That looked really cool. I like it. What did you cut the steel out with? That looks really good. Let me bring that back up. Check on the axe real quick. Yep, I think it's looking really nice. There we go. My camera flicker would stop. All right. There we go. Back to the motorcycle. I like it. It's really cool. Thank you for sharing that. Now let me check the email just to make sure no one else has sent any other projects. Nope, no new emails. All right. All right, back to the app. Let's see. We're showing about 20% done. I was wanting this to be fairly deep engraved, not to have a 3D look, but just be deep overall in general. Now, get the canvas flipper. Here's the acrylic sign. I'll shrink wrap this thing back up, but I got to peel it and see how it looks. Are you kidding me? No, it's plastic. All right. All right, let's peel it. Yes, I am going to do a full review on the Monport 60. And I'm using it regularly. So far, it is rock solid. I haven't had any issues at all. Let's see. I like the motorized Z on that one. It's the way they have it set up, it's allowing for fine adjustments, which is great. It's not as rough as some others that I've used, like my UV laser. It's, you know, you hit the button and it drops considerably more than what you want it to. Then the Monport does have a little knob on top that if the motorized Z wouldn't work, you still use the knob on top.
Yeah, mine doesn't have that. All I have is the motor, so if mine stopped working, I'm in trouble.
Oh, let me go back to the axe real quick. There's our cleaning pass in between the engraved pass. So what that's going to do is clean off any extra slag, dust, remove any lines, even out the surface before we move on to our next set of engraving passes. If I just ran all engraving passes, then at the end, you're not going to have as smooth of a result. So it's better to use multi layers, sub layers. Sorry, that's what I was looking for.
Yeah,
So by using sub layers, I could just click one button and let it run through the main engraves, the clean, everything all at once.
I've been using sub layers when I cut this brass and stuff out for my earrings and whatnot. It helps knock that rough edge down, especially when you're using wobble.
All right, now I sprayed the back of this sign with water. So I can clean all the dust off. The air assist is actually oh yeah, I think this is gonna look good. Let me transition back over. Oh, okay, you were 9 minutes behind the last. No problem. So there's what this sign's going to be. Has their logo. Then there's the dinner and the lawnmower ride the Willie. And what I'll do is 3D print a channel, put on top of here, add LEDs to the top, hot glue all that together. So then they'll have a custom edge-lit LED sign that is controllable and programmable with the remote, and it has, I don't know, 100 different functions or something like that. Let's peel this a little bit. Do some weeding real quick. With a diode, you're not going to be able to engrave metal. You can color it, but you're not going to be able to actually etch with any depth. You can anneal it. So you can add some color to it, but you're not going to engrave it. Now, the coating that's on there, depending on the coating, might burn off. That might be possible, something that would have to be tested. But you won't be able to do anything with the metal itself. All right, there's a quick weed. I think that's looking pretty good. Still a little dirty. I need to clean a little bit more dust off the back of it. But I think the guy's logo came out great. Here's another peel. Oh, man. Can't get a long, satisfying peel off of it. He's going to rip.
Ah, my colors are done.
There you go. You get the point. All right, now I'm going to show you the LEDs that I'll be using. I'll put a link for these in the description once you finish, but they're made by Mazuta, Mazuta. But they are 510 LEDs. Each LED is addressable, so you can control what each LED does. Focus on me. There's the 5 pins. Then you have but for this, I'm just going to use the stock controller that comes with them. Then you need to apply power to the controller and to the LED strip. But these things light up and look great. I think I have another strip that I have connected to an Arduino with a WLED on it. And you can make some pretty cool LED effects with just these. M-A-Z-A-T-A. Muzata. No hot air at all. Let me show you. There's without. And that's with. There's without. And that's with. Without. With. So what's one thing you add to a torch when you're using acetylene? Oxygen. What's that air that's adding more of to the point where the light is hitting that steel? Oxygen. So I think the reason it engraves deeper faster is due to the addition of there's more oxygen available.
Same thing with the plasma cutter. You just run an air compressor with a plasma cutter, and that air pushing through there.
Yep. Exactly.
Helps.
Yeah, and Nephilim Ninja, thank you for being here. But you make a good point. That's cool. Literally, it does help keep the workpiece cooler. So if you do have more of a thinner piece of metal, just running any air across it is going to help keep it cool and help keep it from warping. It doesn't have to be air coming out of a compressor like that. My second favorite thing to use, especially for a long 3D engrave, instead of letting the air compressor cycle on and off for a couple hours, I just use a couple of USB AC infinity fans. It just keeps air blowing across the workpiece. Help keep it cool, and my dust is all of it's heading blowing right into the fume extraction. Just all kinds of stuff. Benefits.
Yeah, I got a little fridge sitting in here, so when my stuff gets hot, I just pick it up in a pair of pliers and throw it on the metal rack in the fridge for a few minutes.
Yeah, yep. I just found my spirit level. I was looking for it for 20 minutes earlier.
Longer than that.
My mind's solo. Get me out of solo.
Yeah, that last color grid turned out pretty good. I got some good reds in it, so I've changed a bunch of things, and I'm swinging at the wind again on this one to see where I go. I took the line spacing that I liked out of the last one, the power and the speed, and I changed up the frequency and the Q pulse to see where that takes me.
Nice. Tyler's here. Hey, Tyler, what's up? For those of you just joining or joining late, I'm going to go back over real quickly what we are doing here. Soon as I find file. So in the meantime, let's go back over the act. Oh my gosh, my nose is itching so bad. Let's see, we changed the name of the podcast, and I still have it filed under the old name. There it is. Jeremy, Deanna asked, excuse me, what are you working on that you need a red? She was just wondering.
Well, it's one of the most elusive colors to get on these lasers. At least for some of us, there's some people who are doing it, but they're not sharing their settings. So we're just trying to find it.
So anyway, Tyler, you just joined. And I think Redbeard was a little behind. But anyone else that joined, what Jeremy and I are doing today is just trying to get a dry run to make sure our setups are working. Because we're wanting to start a Lasers and Stuff podcast. And it's going to be called The Frequency. And here's the artwork that we have prepared so far. So let me get rid of my overlay. And there you go. Now you can see it.
Yeah, I'm liking that one.
Yeah.
Just to piggyback on Deanna's question again, is at this point, red is kind of an afterthought. I've gotten requests to do a lot of stainless steel, these little medallions. Let's see if I can put that up in there. Of different things like Christmas ornaments and different things. And so right now I'm just working on every possible color I can get just to have it. So if I come up with some artwork or a picture or something, an SVG that I want to just break it up and make different colors out of, I can just go to these charts that are on the stainless and get a good starting point for it and go from there.
You just set up the piece. Tyler says he just set up the PC for the first time since moving. I might hit up the podcast too. Well, we will be happy to have you. We will definitely be inviting guests and friends to come on and hang out with us.
Yeah.
Tyler, how do you like the name? Jeremy came up with that. The Frequency. So it ties into lasers and to the radio. Very well done. Now, what font should I use for the word The Frequency?
That's interesting. I'll have to look at that.
Kevin's asking, what do you do about the burr that forms from deep engraving on the axe or firearms? Well, Kevin, let me show you something. Well, if I can find the other half of my G19. I have lost my slide. I lose everything.
Look where your stare it was.
That makes total sense.
You know, when we were on the job site working, we'd drop a tool off the scaffolding or something and we couldn't find it. We just take something else out of the tool belt, chuck it in the ground, and when we get down to get it, we'd find whatever else was down there.
That makes sense. I have no idea. There it is. I found it.
It worked about 25% of the time.
There's a fairly deep engrave. I have a deeper one.
Those ones didn't do much. Got some colors in the middle there, but oh wow. That's the gear.
I cut out the slide with some gears. But then, like I said, this is fairly deep. I'm telling you, running an air assist, I don't have any burrs. I run clean passes in between, like every 20 engraving passes, and running air assist, and I don't get burrs. I can take brass coins and pull them off the laser, hit them with a brass brush, and they're ready to go. Just from making sure my settings are correct for my lens, the line distance is correct for your lens, and then running the correct settings and running fast enough so you're not leaving behind pits and gouges and lines. Because some people like to run too slow, in my opinion. As you can see, this axe, it's not going to have any burring. Let me show you this now. It's going to be almost prepped and ready to go right off the laser. You can see it's already developing a shine to it. And where are we at in the process? I lost track. It's about halfway done. So that's halfway, and there are not any birds.
Oh, I messed that up. What the heck?
What you'll see with those cleaning passes, sometimes you'll see it right at the edge of the engraves where it's knocking off the slag and dust and anything that's there. That way it keeps it from building up. And by the time you're done, your last cleaning pass, you're ready to go. You have a sling blade. I think I have 5 lawnmower blades I've been wanting to blacksmith into actual blades and then laser engrave them. I hope to get to that soon. Jeremy, what you got going on in LightBurn?
Oh, just changing some stuff to try to get some different things going.
Let me make you full screen so folks can see what you're doing. I need to talk just a little louder or move a little closer.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on because it seems like every time I talk, you tell me I'm getting lower and lower, but I haven't touched anything.
That's a little better.
All right, so go back into here. So I got my speed set at 375, line spacing at 0.035, and my power at 20. Those are my constants. And then my frequency range is from 450 to 850, and my Q pulse is from 45 to 125. Let's see what that gets me. And I got some thumbprints on there.
Now you're louder.
But that must mean that this camera over my laser is what's picking up the sound.
Yep, that's it.
Oh, all right.
Now you sound really good.
I thought I had that changed, but maybe I did not. All right. Let's see what happens with this one. There. Oh, that LightBurn turned back on. That's bouncing because it's on my swinging gantry arm hanging from my ceiling. And I think these first few squares are going to end up a little bit bleh until it gets up into the frequency and Q pulse that we like.
I think I might just stop this where it's at now and run a final cleaning pass and add some color to it. It's fairly deep enough already. We're at 36 minutes elapsed so far.
Yeah, this is always a surprise what colors you're going to get when you start throwing stuff at it.
Definitely. Fun to see too, especially when you happen to nail one that you really were hunting for.
Yeah, that second block over at the top up there, that's got some pretty good aquas and stuff in it at the right angle there. I like them blue greens I got coming out of that second one over. There's some purples and some burgundies in there too, but they're darker. So I don't know. I'm trying to get some lighter colored stuff.
Tyler, I'm going to have to get with you. Maybe you can figure out why I have this Windows camera flicker. I've changed USB ports, USB cords, installed more RAM, uninstalled stuff I don't use. But that's the topic for another day. I'm not going to get into that.
Man, that axe is looking pretty stinking good right now.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, do I really want to try and add color to it, or do I want to let it be a natural silver and then clear coat it? I might
Man, I
run my
like
steel.
contrast that's going on.
I might run my steel polish setting on it and see how it turns out.
Uh-oh.
Now it's cool seeing the difference in the color on the axe head where it's been tempered at the on the blade end.
Now, if I talk like this, can you guys hear me better?
No.
No. All right, that didn't work. No idea.
What would Ragnar do? That is a good question.
Who's Ragnar?
From the what is he, a Viking king?
Oh, gotcha.
Or
I
warrior?
don't follow all that stuff. Okay, how's this? Can you hear me better now? If I keep talking, can you hear me better? And I just lost audio.
All right. Let's see. What are we going to do?
All right, what do we got going on here? Oh, we got some pinky, purpley, kind of bluey, greeny stuff going on in there. That's weird.
Oh, let me put yours on full screen. All right, I'm going to run the polishing pass and see what we get. I bet it's going to make it dark. But I did not adjust for the 120 watt laser. It will. See how it looks. Might come out with a nice wet look. I don't get too worried whenever I mess up a setting like I just did, because you can always run a cleaning path and use it as an eraser and erase what you just did.
So I'm getting some pastel colors out of this one, which is completely opposite of those dark, shiny ones that I was getting before.
Gary. Hey, Jerry Cooper. Jeremy is using a 60 watt JPT. I'm using a 120 watt JPT.
Yeah. Can you hear me better now?
Yes.
Okay. I switched some stuff in StreamYard this time instead of OBS. Yes. Also, Patrick's using a 200 lens, and I am using a 220 lens. Ooh, that's looking dirty. But I like it. Your axe on my screen, it's looking a little dirty.
Oh, yeah. Wait till you see this. It looks wet.
I guess it's just where the light shines on it weird.
Mm-hmm. See how it's got that wet look? I forgot to drop the power back on my polishing setting. Although, I do like it. I'm not going to leave it like that, though. I'll brighten it back up.
Run like a light clean pass back over that to kind of dull it back up just a bit.
Yeah.
Matte
no,
finish.
It's not burnt. That's the factory finish that you're seeing that kind of looks burnt and dirty.
Yeah.
The laser finish looks black, smooth, and wet.
Jerry, my laser is from Lasers Only. I think he's out of New Jersey.
Actually, the machine I'm using now is made by Noah Laser. And I believe I'm going to start doing their tech work and training work again. The Montfort that I have is a great machine. I don't have any issues with it, but their tech support isn't so great. But I think in the description there's a link to Noah Laser, and I've also got an Amazon affiliate link if you want to see that.
Yeah, pretty much all of them are Chinese lasers. They're just different box, different packages, different colors.
Hey, Jeremy, Hobo sent us 2 ideas for fonts for the frequency.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh,
I gotta finish watching. I gotta finish watching one of his videos when we're done here too. I was starting to watch one and I didn't get to finish it. And now he's got another one he just put out that I gotta watch now.
Okay, I'm gonna pop his idea up on screen.
I like that top one a lot.
That top one looks perfect.
That's kind of what I was look. It looks all cracked and like lightning bolty and stuff. That's kind of what I was looking for too.
Yep, that's what I was kind of going for with that AI generated font that I made.
That's perfect, Steve. Thank you.
You can see the engraved part of that axe is the black and shiny bit.
Yeah, Steve's was he doing a live tomorrow? That's what it is. It's doing a live tomorrow. Create a custom logo in LightBurn.
That's so smooth it feels almost like glass.
Well, that is a lot of pink purple right there. So at least we know what 0.0035 line spacing is going to get us.
Why isn't that working? I don't know.
Part number of the machines? What's...
Yeah, I'm going to find him one.
Okay.
Let's see.
I have they're M7. You got an M7, but your 120 is an M8, isn't it?
No, it's an M7.
Is it an M7? Thank you, Steve. Appreciate it.
Let's see, that
yeah, Jerry Hobo's got excellent information on his videos. I really enjoy his stuff.
If you look at my channel, it looks like nobody enjoys my content. But
I watch all your stuff.
I found out that I think I'm shadow banned or marked as spam.
So I'm subscribed to all these gun tubers and all these Second Amendment lawyers and all this stuff, and they're all complaining that they're shadow banned, but I don't have any issue getting any of their stuff on yours.
No,
anybody's.
Mine,
it all comes through
mine
just
doesn't
fine.
get pushed. Mine doesn't get pushed out in front of people. Like it won't even. You can be subscribed and it won't show up in feeds. Plus, a lot of times I can't do super chats with text in the chat or text in the message. If I try to have any text in it, it will not go through. If I leave it blank, it will. Jeremy, Jim has a question for you.
Yeah, I'm reading it right now.
Oh, cool.
Jim, I literally just figured out through OBS how to like switch cameras and let people see my LightBurn page. And that's my next video I'm putting out is color test grids and how to set them up in the test grid thing. I'll try to have that done by the end of next week. I'm going to try to make sure it's a good one. This is just a trial run today, trying to figure out how to work all this stuff out.
I'm running my cleaning path again.
Oh, now see, that looks good.
Hey, Sergio, thanks for joining. Sergio is HVAC A to Z.
Welcome, welcome. I'm going to flip back over to LightBurn real quick, and then I'll show that test grid setup.
All right. I'm going to copy a link for you. I think it was Jerry. This is Amazon link to the Noah Laser Smart 2. I have 2 of these machines. I also have the Noah Laser CO2 Galvo, and I love them. They're the ones that have the power that slides back, or the laser path slides back and forth, so you can extend it out and extend it back. And then it also swivels 360 degrees. I'll demonstrate that after this engraving is finished.
Cool. Hey, so this here is your edit text setting, and that's what burns all your numbers and letters and all your description around your test grid colors. So you set that where you want it. And then you go into material settings, and you've got 3 constants that you're going to have, whether it's line space right here, speed, power, frequency, Q pulse, that kind of thing. And most of the time, we always just set it to 1 pass. We don't do a crosshatch. Although, when you find something, it's kind of fun to do a crosshatch because it'll change color, and sometimes you'll get some really brilliant colors when you do a crosshatch. And I've got a few test grids around that I've done that, but I'm horrible at labeling them, so I have no idea what I did where. So I'm kind of starting my process over so I can label them properly. Once you get the 3 constants set that you want, you go in here, and you can set frequency, power, speed, and then you get your minimum and your maximums. I guess I'm not used to it being that big. It's all spread out. You get your minimums and your maximums on your frequency or speed, power, whatever. And then your other one is, Q pulse like I've got going on now or whatever. And then you can just hit your preview. And I don't know why it's doing that, but anyways, you can all your stuff, and this is where your text setting comes in right here and all this. So yeah, I'll have a video hopefully by the end of next week showing all that stuff. Now that I figured out how to use all this stuff.
All right. My first cleaning passes ran, and you'll see it turned it back to the bright.
And it looks like I got one more row at the top. But yeah, I'm getting a lot of purpley pinks.
Sergio, what kind of design were you looking for? I just released a video 2 days ago. This is a custom stipple pattern that I actually made. And this is a customer's frame. And I would like to do my frame with this pattern. Come on, focus.
You remember that? Did you see that video of the PlayStation controller I stippled?
Yeah.
I think I'm going to, I like that pattern that I put on that. I think I'm going to put that on my little Ruger.
Then you can also, this is a steampunk design that I also made.
That's freaking cool.
The back of it, I just left black. That I did two-tone. Then that pairs up with the steampunk slide. For the slide, what were you looking for the slide? Like what kind of theme were you thinking? Make it into LightBurn real quick.
Not allowed to leave, Jim.
Where are you headed to, Jim?
He's probably getting his Raleigh delivered. He's been
probably. It might make an appearance today on the stream if he gets a picture of it and sends it to me.
Yeah, I don't know. We're probably not going to hear from him again if he gets it. He's probably going to be unpacking that thing.
Yeah, that's true. I'd imagine so.
I'd be gone. I can tell you that. Actually, no, I'd probably put a camera on it. Well, whatever catches your eye, I guess you got to have an idea of what your favorite, whatever to look at. You know, chickens. You want to put a bunch of chickens on it? You want to do a deer hunting scene, drag race car? I don't know.
Chickens. You love putting chickens on everything. That's so funny.
Well, I step out the door of my shop and I'm attacked by all of them. So it's like, you know, might as well.
And I like that you put chickens into the AI image generators and come up with these crazy looking chickens. You know, they're drinking soda, eating pizza while holding their chicken guns.
Let me see if I can find that. Oh, where did I put that?
Okay, what I'm looking for now, can you see towards the blade end of the axe head how it's a different color? That's because it's tempered. And what I'm wanting to do is try to find a setting that will give me the bright silver where the handle is and leave the tempered part anything other than excuse me, anything other than bright gold. And that's what that cleaning pass or the pass I did before left. It was a bright gold.
There you go. There's my AI generated chicken.
Nice. If I could get it to do a silver where the handle is located, and then a darker, it's not gold, towards the blade end where it's tempered, I would be super happy with that. And so that's what I'm trying to go for now. We'll see. It might end up being too dark across the whole thing. Yeah, I do have a shop where visitors can come in. That would be awesome. Deanna says, I have a 380 that I call my buddy. It would be awesome to have a name on it. That would be pretty cool. Now the blade on this thing is a combination of blues, golds, and dark. It actually looks pretty neat. Let's see if I can swing you around. Jim, send me your address. I'll make you an unboxing knife. I've got a spare knife just sitting here waiting to be christened as an unboxing knife for someone. That means you have to wait until you receive the knife to unbox your Rolly LaserMATIC Mark II.
Well, yeah, but then it has to come to me because then I need to engrave on it. Then it can go to Jim.
Oh, yeah. It's okay. You're doing one side and I'll do the other.
Yeah. And I'll make him a sheath for it before it gets there.
Oh, nice. That should only take about a couple weeks.
Yeah, why not?
By the time we get around to it. The two-tone looks really cool with this setting. Although it's not as bright as I wanted it to be. It's got a crazy blue in there.
I took that blue-green color in the bottom left corner of that last one I did and moved some stuff around that particular color to see what I can come up with now.
I think I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back to my cleaning pass, increase the power, and see if that leaves it bright and not gold. I don't think Jim is liking our plan. He just laughed at it.
I just saw that.
Come on, man. You got to stick with the plan.
I got a 28-inch katana I could send him. He could use that for an unboxing knife.
It seems a little too short.
Yeah, well, it's the only one I got. Well, nah, I can't. That's their black belt sword. I can't take that. My son's got a like 3.5 footer.
All right, this is going to be the final pass. This is it. I'm done. However this comes out, that's how it's staying, I think.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta walk away, call it good.
I'm just hoping it's not gold. But it's definitely a nice bright silver.
That looks bright silver to me.
Had I known what I wanted it to look like, well, exactly which setting to run at the end, this 120 watts still new to me. So that's why I don't know exactly what setting is going to do what. Had I have known, this engrave would have taken a total of about 45 minutes for this side and then another 45 for the other side. Oh, Jerry, that knife I sent you, I love those knives. You can beat them up and use them on all kinds of stuff, and they still keep going. Plus, personally, I think that an automatic knife is much safer than a folder. If I'm working on something, I can have that blade out and back in with one hand. I'm not fumbling around, and I'm not taking a chance of closing my fingers up in it whenever I'm putting the blade away. But that's just me.
Yeah, thank you, Deanna. I just saw that rooster comment. I was going for a tactical rooster, and I ended up getting one with an LS swap. So I mean, I don't know. I'll take it. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, this is definitely my last pass because it's not gold. Yay. Is there any other example laser engraving anybody would like to see? Any particular material or laser? Just leave a comment if you do. Or if there is.
Yep. I'm cutting down off. I'm losing power. I'll do something different with it later.
I'm trying to use proper grammar.
It is what it is.
Oh, that's looking nice now. When that finishes, that's it. Excuse me.
Show us your fiber lasers and give thoughts on each one. Okay, let me unbury mine. Oh, let me get somewhere where I can see what I'm doing. There we go.
We can do that. I don't have a problem.
I can't turn this thing. Yeah. This thing doesn't turn. All right, hold on. I switch cameras. Well, this one's mine. Just lasers only, 60 watt. Cheat sheets on the front. And then I got the 800 millimeter tower on it. And there's my bouncy gantry arm hanging from the ceiling. So let me see. I have not had an issue with this thing, and I've had it for about 2 years. So I mean, it's all right. I don't keep this thing screwed together because you never know if you need to get into it and clean it. But there's the inside guts. There's the MOPA fiber source right there, and there's the guts. So anyways, that was mine. It works. It does its job.
Yep. So two things to consider, or one thing to consider right off the bat when you're shopping for one is if you want a split system like what Jeremy has. And I used to have a split system like that and sold it. And now I think all my Galvo lasers except one are all-in-ones. And I've come to prefer the all-in-one system, but that's personal preference. There's advantages and disadvantages to each of them.
I want this one to stay in my shop, and I want one of those all-in-ones, probably a 30 watt MOPA or maybe a 60 watt MOPA just to take to shows so I can do stuff for customers at my shows. Because I think this is going to be too hard to move around.
All right, I'll show you. I'm going to show you my laser after this. So look at the grain of the metal. You see the grain of the metal, you don't see laser lines. Hit this with a brass brush and it will even just a magic eraser, and it'll be ready to go. It'll get all that, any extra dust and stuff cleaned off of it. Every once in a while, there might be, kind of a little line here or there, but for the most part, you're not going to see laser lines. This is just a wet microfiber. It's still a little warm. Anyway, come on. There it is. And this is smooth. I mean, it's like glass. It's so smooth. And the whole thing's, other than where it's deep engraved, the whole thing is smooth. It's whatever the Vikings drew back in the, I'll have to look at the period these drawings are from.
Jim, you still got a 110 lens only, right? brass.
Okay, I'm going to show Jerry the first example. See that this laser is made by Noah Laser, and it's an all-in-one. And I've added a riser to it. Then here's a Monport all-in-one. And it's it's skinnier, but it's taller. I don't know if you can see that. And then here's the bigger Noah Laser that I was just using. It needs to be bigger to hold the higher power supply or the higher wattage output laser. And then I was telling you that my other Galvo, that's the CO2, that's a Noah Laser, but it's also an all-in-one. Then over there, I have a UV that is a split. And I even prefer the all-in-ones just here in the shop. Now, the cool thing about the Noah Lasers, I'll show you this. If you loosen these two screws under here, this whole thing slides back and forth to give you adjustability. It's on rails. Then if you loosen this screw and this screw in the back, which I can't quite reach, might be loose enough, this also spins. So this is another thing to consider when you're looking at fiber lasers. So here you go back and forth. And then spinning action. And Noah Laser was the first one that I saw do the spin, and now a couple others are doing it. And then it's still the only one that I know that the head adjusts and pulls in and out. The Monport will spin 90 degrees. So it has screws there so you can spin the tower 90 degrees, but it's not adjustable. It's just 0 and 90, and that's it. And then the Monport and the Noah Laser, you can see right here, there's a knob. Then here, this flips out. You have a knob. So if something happens, your motor's not working, or you need a little finer adjustment, you can adjust with the knob. There's a knob on that one. Knob. There's a knob on that one. Knob on that one. And then on the all-in-one that I have, or not the all-in-one, the split system that I have, you can see it has the motor setting on top. So you cannot adjust it with a knob, which I don't like. I like having the knob on top just in case. Because you never know that maybe the stepper motor dies or the driver dies. And then if you're just using just the knob only, you're not going to be able to adjust your height.
Whoops. Stop it.
$195 should be adequate for two split between two lasers. Yeah, especially with the gates. I think you should be in good shape. No laser, 2.5D or MOPA. A MOPA can be 2.5D. It could be 3D. The MOPA is the laser source, so it's what's setting inside the big housing. So your laser source sits inside this housing. And that's what you would have as MOPA or non-MOPA. So that's in here. What makes your laser 2.5D or 3D will be the controller card in here, or some of them have 3D scan heads, which would be in your Galvo head, where they, I don't know if they use, I can't remember what they use to sense the distance between the object, but they'll use a 3D scan head to scan a 3D image of your part. It's down here. So if it was a circle, it would scan that, and then it would adjust to maintain the same focal distance between the laser and the object as it goes around the surface, basically. Auto. There we go. So in a nutshell, you can have a MOPA or non-MOPA laser source, and then you can have just a regular 2D laser, 2.5D or 3D with any of the laser sources. So hopefully that helps. Let's see. So that was exclusive. Brass with close to 20 watt settings. That's going to be tough.
I'm working on something right now.
Okay, good. And it's also going to take a while.
Yeah. Yep.
Shoot, well, I got this camera out. Let me just do this. All right, so underneath that crap, I have a CO2 gantry. It's made by Noah Laser. It's on par with a Thunder Laser, equal or better quality. But currently it's a shelf because I needed the room. Up above, we have some diode lasers. There's a Whizmaker and the Creality and an Algo laser. But I was running out of room, so I had to start hanging stuff up. Then there's the 120 watt I was just using. There's CO2 Galvo. Here is the king of the diode lasers, the laserMATIC Mark II. It is so much fun. My gosh. Sometimes I think it's more fun than a fiber. All right. Then I have the UV laser there. Right there is just the generic Chinese gantry CO2. I installed hybrid steppers on it and did some other upgrades, and it works pretty well. And then I have 3 3D printers running at the moment. Nope, one's done. So now it's just 2 running. And I'm making Mark II riser legs on the middle one. And then a Glock stipple jig on the one on the right. And the one on the left, let me grab that part. That was something you don't need that much of a close-up. Well, this would have came out better if I would have remembered to turn it this way to print it, but I didn't, and then I didn't pay any attention to it. So I'll have to reprint it. Whoops. Didn't pay any attention to it. Hate it when that happens.
That's called dang it, Bob.
Yep. Oh well, no big.
like that.
I should have. I guess I thought it was already setting that way whenever I looked at it in the slicer, and I did not do anything else to look at it in the slicer. Wait, wrong one. Oh, look. If I would have just moved it around, I would have noticed that it was the wrong way. So now let's spin it the right way. Boom. That'll be much better. I'm going to still add supports for the holes, although it shouldn't need them. Actually, no, I'm not. I'll just make it take longer. Just slice it. 3 hours, 28 minutes. Okay, whatever. Upload, start, go. But anyway, this is a cool little finishing tool holder. I'm going to put all of my little files in here, and then it will hold some X-Acto knives. You can even put the put a magnet, do a couple down here, and hold your X-Acto knife blades and stuff. Anyway, I thought that would be pretty neat. Oh, and that doesn't count. I'll show you something else. I forgot to show you the 2000 watt laser cleaner welder cutter sitting right there.
Yeah, I know. I had an opportunity to get one and I turned it down.
2000 watts. What about it? Bake? Oh no. My son's grandma got him a pair of Lightning McQueen Crocs, and apparently they're fakes. That stinks. Yeah, I want that side discharge panel, Sergio. And I noticed it was out of stock. And then I remembered that I have 2 spare pieces of orange laser acrylic. So I'm just going to cut my own out. That's what I'm going to do. Yeah. Talking about pushing the machine back against the wall further. Oh, here's my spare piece of acrylic. Perfect size. I'm just going to cut that out and make my own. And then I can shove that thing back. Yes, the Monfort 60 would be able to do that axe. Yeah, this Monfort machine is a nice little machine. It did this. And I've been using it quite a bit just to get some experience with it so I can do a full review video of it, which I'm just hoping to get done this coming week. And I only have one negative about it is it doesn't use standard lenses. I can show you that. However, I need to do a lens episode. With the right adapter, you can use a regular lens. This is an f290 200 by 200 millimeter lens. Okay. It's small, and I'll do a comparison size. But it actually does have. Let me just move my light out of the way. It does have an adapter in here. And it adapts down to that small lens. And just so we can do a direct comparison, this is an OPEC lens, but it's also a 200. Let's see, it says 200 and 300. So it's a 200 field size, 300 focal distance, where the other one is 290 focal distance, but that's only 10 millimeters apart. There you can see the difference in the lenses. So even let me take the adapter off. Now these, like I said, these are both 200 millimeter lenses. Now an OPEX lens needs a different adapter than just the standard lens. So here's a third type of 200 millimeter lens. So they all take different adapters. There you go. There's 1, 2, 3. That'll get you the difference in size. But just using this smaller lens size is probably the biggest drawback, since it's not a standard lens size. So if I have a collection of lenses like this, I can't use them in this machine without having an adapter, and it's a different adapter than what comes with it for these smaller lenses. And I have the Monport other lens around here somewhere. So basically what you need here's a 150 millimeter lens. Oh, here. I'm trying not to make this too confusing. 200 lens. To get this 200 lens to work in the Monport, you need this adapter. So it adapts it so that you screw that on, and then it will screw up in, whoops. So now it is in the Monport Galvo head. Now, if you order say this, like this 150 lens came direct from Monport, it'll come with this adapter. Then you can use this adapter on all your different standard lenses. That makes sense. And then for the laser like this new laser that has a standard size threads on it, you just need this type of adapter. So it looks like that. Just a standard lens adapter. Then here's an Opex lens adapter. So there's your lens lesson for today. What are you working on, Jeremy?
Oh, I got a test grid ran for Jim. I sent that to him, see if that'll help him, and then I was gonna try to burn something on this copper or this brass real quick, but I'm having trouble with the artwork. See, that's the part that slows me down. I'm not like a graphic artist at all. I'm a tester. You give me something to do, and I'll freaking test the snot out of it and get you what you need. But if I got to make a piece of artwork, it's going to take me 3 days. So, there we go. Is that different? Hold on. Maybe I just got it.
Jim? I do have a suggestion for you. Why don't you take that 20-watt source out of there and put it in a higher power source?
Yeah. Swap that sucker for a 60-watt MOPA.
Because I'm going to be doing a video soon. Yep, I need to do that real soon. But I'm going to be taking the 50-watt Raycus out of this machine that's sitting beside me and replacing it with an 80-watt. I'm going to do a video showing how to do that, to convert from a non-MOPA to a MOPA just with the wiring. But it's really easy to swap the sources out. Super easy. I swapped the source out and that one over there, an 80-watt for the 120-watt, and then I'm going to put the 80-watt in this one. So 2 things. 1, it's easy. 2, I'll have a spare 50-watt source. Maybe we can make a deal. And that 50-watt source has done a lot of engraving. I do not hold anything against a Raycus source at all. That one's done a fine job for me. More than fine job. It's been excellent. Let's see. Jerry, LightBurn can do a 2.5D with a grayscale image. So that's something to keep in mind. However, LightBurn will be adding support for the Z-axis soon. So if you had the motorized Z that's controlled by the card, that would be a nice feature to have. So it's going to boil down to personal preference. Would you really be missing anything by not having it? Probably not. Although it would be nice to have just in case LightBurn comes out with something that utilizes that makes it even better than what it is. Well, we are at 2 hours and 10 minutes, 11 minutes. Does anybody have any more questions before we get ready to sign off here? Or are you still working on something, Jeremy, you want to finish up?
Nah, I don't need to. This is going to take me a minute. I'll share it with Jim later.
Okay.
Maybe I'll do a video on it. Maybe I'll do a short or something this week on it too.
Cool. I'll give this a few minutes to finish up. Looks like your camera switching and everything's worked pretty well. You got your microphone sorted. I think we'll be in good shape.
Yeah, I think so. I think I got a microphone coming in the middle of next week, so hopefully I can position that somewhere where it'll catch everything.
Right.
I got a dynamic mic coming in instead of a condenser mic, so hopefully it'll pick stuff up a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Good. That sounds awesome. Well, thank you for being co-host for this just regular live stream. But folks, we're going to start the podcast. When do we think? Right after the first of the year? Probably next weekend?
Yeah. So we had a schedule kind of worked out, but I gotta look at the dates and figure out when that was yet. I can't remember.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Just stay tuned. We're going to start doing just a weekly, probably hang out for an hour and chat and pick a different subject each week and talk about it. Have some guests on, and hopefully it'll be something entertaining and interactive with the chat as usual.
Sure.
So,
looks good to me. Sounds good to me.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, everybody. I'm going to sign off here. All right.
Have a good rest of the weekend.
Have a good weekend, guys.